Great. Well, I want to welcome everybody to the Town of Waldoboro Recreation Committee meeting for Wednesday, May 29th, 2019. My name is Troy Smith, and I am the chair. And I'll start by the left and go around.
Raymond Tompkins.
Trevor Redinger.
Jim Letning. Marcus Benner.
Great. So, obviously, we'll officially call this meeting to order, and we'll see if there's any citizens' comments that you'd like to share with us, Marcus.
I did have one lady call in, said we need a splash pad. She'd been up to Presque Isle, and they had just put one in. It's basically a concrete slab with some different water features on it in the summertime.
Yeah.
And it kind of seemed like an interesting thing. Haven't looked into it, but literally the next day, I had an advertisement come in the mail about splash pads. So it kind of was like,
Is this like
all right,
Is this like the kiddie pool without the pool?
yeah,
Like you have
yeah,
you have
kind
the
of.
mat and sprinklers.
Like
or whatever.
basically a concrete slab with some different stuff going up that squirts water.
Right.
I have no idea how much it would cost. I haven't looked into it at all, but it was like, lady asked for it one day, the next day something showed up in the mail.
Google's listening to you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, those are a great alternative. They don't require lifeguards or anything like
Right.
that.
It's supposed
So
to
obviously
outdoor
finding
pool.
a location and,
Yeah.
you know,
Maintain.
My original thought was like the tennis courts behind 80 Gray are built with LWCF money, and we're supposed to keep them up forever in good working order, and we haven't done that so far. If the building's sold, or if they decide to keep the location, we either need to fix it or create an equal new recreational space somewhere else. I thought, I don't know what the money is, but it could be a good option to redo those tennis courts. Kyle got a quote before I was ever here, and it was over $100,000 to redo a set of tennis courts. So that they need to be done from
right.
like tore down and rebuilt. So
Has anybody from LCWF ever reached out to the town and tried to hold them accountable?
yeah, Doug Beck emails me once a year. He wanted to meet up with me at the conference, MERPA conference, and I missed him. I didn't avoid him on purpose.
Yeah.
I went to talk to him once and someone else was there, so I moved on. But it was more of an issue when we were trying to do the Pine Street Landing project, and he was really trying to.
Try to hold back those funds, correct?
Yeah, and so we were really working on it then, and then that property that they were going to use for that project went off the market, so that project we didn't
Need to use those funds.
need to use those funds, and he kind of stopped bugging me about it. I told him, I had a plan for it. It's just there's no sense dumping money into those tennis courts if we're gonna sell the property. If we're gonna knock it down and make it a recreational area, then sure we could do something. I was just kind of waiting to see what happened with the building. It's just obviously taking longer than they like.
Yeah. No, I was just curious.
Yeah.
I mean, because if that does sell, that property's still not part of the 80 Gray property. I don't know if you know that, but
What?
the property the tennis court's on are bought and purchased with LCWF funds, so they have to stay in recreational perpetuity
Right.
throughout the
Yeah.
So if a
So-
new owner, I guess, it would have to be a different agreement.
I
but-
think, from my understanding, if we sell it, we have to because we can either rebuild it where it is, or we can move it to a new place. It just has to be a new recreational
of equal value.
of equal value. So we would just have to, at that point, we would have to move it somewhere else.
Okay,
Is the way I understood it.
that's great. Was there any other citizens' input?
No.
And I guess we'll move to the next agenda item, the Recreation Director's Report, which is again you.
So Little League's coming towards a close. It's been a pretty terrible season with all the rain. Our rec fields, there's Souk Forth Field behind Miller School. I could probably count the games that have been played there on one hand because it is just underwater every time it rains. I was out there with a sump pump all day today, just pumping water off the field, trying to get it ready for this weekend. There's supposed to be 4 games there this weekend. Yeah. I had John Daigle and another public works guy out there today, and we were talking about redoing some of the drainage this summer when the field's not in use, because it's just every time it rains, the whole thing's underwater. If I can get the dirt dry, that's great, but when there's standing water in the outfield and in front of third base,
Third base was always a bear.
yeah, right in front of. I can get the dirt dry, easy. It's just the grass. Yeah, I got the new sump pump in the mail last week, so that made things a little easier today. But it's just been a nightmare. Women's adult basketball wrapped up last week. They started strong. They had like 15 the first week, or like 7 the first week, and then 15. But as they went on, numbers started to dwindle, and by the end of it, they couldn't really even play because they couldn't get enough. I talked to their leader, and he said if there was some interest, we'd try it again in the fall. But for now, they were going to take a break. Spring tumbling class is underway. I think they had 12 participating in this session. Big thank you to Jim for unlocking the gym for me.
Thank you, Jim.
And I had to have one of the moms do it the next week. That worked out well. A couple of weddings in a row there. MLB pitch hit and run went well. We had 14 kids, which was a little down from last year, but it was kind of a rainy day. So not too bad. Out of those 14, 7 of them qualified to move on to the sectional competition in Bangor, which is this Sunday. And then depending on how they do there, their numbers will be compared to others across the region. If they win there, they go to Fenway Park for the regional competition during a Red Sox game. Recreation surveys have come back. I have 250 in the books, and I still have a large stack there that I need to go through, another 120 something. So we had 374 back so far, which I think is a pretty good turnaround. And then planning is underway for our summer rec camp that we run for 5 weeks at Miller School. I originally thought I wasn't having any staff returning. And then the day I posted the head counselor, head leader position, my leader from last year said, "Hey, just kidding, can I have that back?" And so I took the ad down, and she's going to do it again. And then I have one counselor that had moved on to another job, but is going to talk to that job about
Doing both.
working the schedule to do both. So that would be good to have 2 come back. And then I have, if she comes back, I'll have 2 other counselor positions in. I have 2 applications right now, so then wait another week or so and see if anything else comes in. But looking pretty good for that. And then I just gotta call around and get everything set up. We went to Wiscasset Rec Pool last year for on Tuesdays. That worked out great. They have a little kiddie pool, I guess you'd say, and it has a bunch of like water features, kind of like the splash pad we were talking about, and the kids loved it. The year before we were at the Camden Y, and we just had 2 lanes in the big pool that they could kind of swim around in, and they had way more fun at Wiscasset, so hoping to go back there. Then we go to All Play a Day, bowling, Dodge Point for a nature walk. 2 years ago, we went to, they'd always gone to the aquarium in Booth Bay. But last year we had an extra day of swimming where we moved it from Fridays to Tuesdays, so that one got cut out. I think there's one more place we usually go. Skipping my mind right now. But, yeah, they have a pretty good time.
They ever go to Herring Gut
I don't know what that is.
Port Clyde.
or Klein?
I've never been down there, but
It's a pretty good little. It's a nice little learning center. The reason why I mention it, I had gone when I was substitute teaching. I was helping out, and one of the trips, they had a little field trip down there. It's quite pretty interesting little place.
Nice.
And kids can kind of touchy-feely type stuff, but learn about the ocean.
Yeah, when we went to the aquarium, it was kind of neat. It was pretty small.
I've never been to that.
Yeah, they have like a touch tank and then
Oh,
some
they
other
do?
tanks that
Yeah.
you can look at, but the room is not much bigger than the one we're in. You just kind of walk around it, and then there's a touch tank in the middle.
Okay.
And I had like 2 hours booked there, and it was
more than,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
more than
We had
enough.
one kid that didn't want to leave. Other than that, everyone else was like waiting
Yeah.
outside, ready to go.
Yeah.
So that was an easy cut the next year when we had an extra day of swimming.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to fall on the same day, so we didn't go back. But that's it for my director's report.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of meeting minutes from April 24th. I think Marcus sent those out last week. There's a copy here. I'm hoping everybody had a chance to kind of look it over.
Yep.
And if anybody had any questions or any corrections or adjustments, this would be the time. Other than that, I would accept a motion to accept.
Motion to accept the minutes as,
Second by Trevor. All in favor? And they pass. Okay, item number 5 on the agenda is a survey update. And I know you touched base with a little bit on your director's report, so I don't know if how you'd like to move forward with this, if you want to talk about some of the findings you have already, or setting a date of when we want our final deadline, or.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of stopped coming in for the most part. A few trickle in here and there, but I haven't got any big stacks lately. I think the ones from the mail are pretty much done for the most part. It's probably going to take me till our next meeting to get through the rest of those surveys. They don't go very fast, and I haven't really made it a point to sit down and do them. If I have time, I do them, but if I have to go work on the fields,
Yeah.
I still have all my other stuff I'm doing, so it's kind of been,
Sure.
oh, here's 10
Catch-
minutes,
catch
here's 10
can.
minutes, let me get a
Right.
couple done.
Yep.
And then it was earlier yesterday, I guess it was, I was gonna do field work and it rained all day, so I sat down and did like 50 of them, but they take some time, plugging them into an Excel spreadsheet, and a lot of the first stuff is just typing in, address, and then typing in all the stuff they circle, but then you get to the comments, and some of them are lengthy. But yeah, most of it's been positive. Like I said, there's been most of the people that want it have put down something. Like when it comes to the payment section, they put something down. There have only been a few where it really tailors off, and then there's been people that have been against it for their own reasons, but think it's good. Like if a majority of the people that have put in have been have checked the 65 plus, and they say I'm not going to use this, but I think it's a great thing for the town. And so and some of them will put, don't think we need it, we should be outside, and it's been quite a variety of answers, but the majority have been positive, and the majority have been willing to pay something for it. There've been a few that have been yes for it, and no, can't pay anything, but just a few. And then there's the people that are dead against it across the board. So, I mean, it's a good mix, but mostly positive.
well, do you think we should set a date of like June 15th as it sounds like they're kind of dwindling in onesie twosies, if that,
Yeah.
and then just use that as our target date.
Yeah.
And
I think that would
kind of
be,
close it out. I mean, it sounds like, for what you're saying, and looking at these,
15%, right?
we got a pretty good
Yeah.
response.
yeah.
Yeah, much greater than average. That's
Average.
for sure. What we found out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what we could. I guess one of my questions was, should we have a table or something at Waldoboro Day to try to promote more people to fill it out than in there, or do you think that would be overkill, or I have no idea. I know you got some events that you're going to talk about, or some different plans for Waldoboro Day, so I don't know if that would tie into that or not.
The other question, in conjunction with that, what about the vote on the 11th, right? Don't we have the town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Vote,
right.
the 11th.
We had talked about that, I mentioned,
Yeah,
it,
right.
saw it in the notes. Did we ever solidify plans on that, or?
We haven't, but it's something that can be done.
Yeah, I think that's probably worth. I mean, obviously that's coming right up. So, I guess what you need to do, Marcus, is just check with the town clerk and make sure
It's legit, yeah.
legit where we could station ourselves. And then maybe we try to find a way between us and maybe even ask for some other volunteers that would
Yep.
sit and basically just pass out surveys. And,
Mm-hmm.
or if they have another way where we don't have to man it, but I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I can't think of a quick one.
Yeah, I would think that would
Yeah.
have to have someone.
Right.
Yeah, no, they've had people in the past do different stuff. I don't know if it was similar to what we're doing, but they're right here on the corner as people come in.
Yeah.
Right where the LCTV stuff was set up, kind of. So I'm sure we could do something as long as it's allowed, because it's not on a vote or anything. So I don't see why it wouldn't be. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll be here all day, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could take some shifts, or
Yeah.
possibly, or I mean, I'm not speaking for everybody, but
Yeah.
you know, it sounds something Karen might even be interested in doing, or any of us. Like,
I could
I think
probably-
I could do a couple hours either in the morning or at night,
Right.
you know, and I'd be happy to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I could.
It's pretty
get some
passive. I don't
time
think
to-
you can actively, like, you know,
Right.
you know, you just we'll put up a sign or whatever, and then
Yeah.
ask people, and if they have questions about it, have one of us there to kind of answer what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, like, in a lot of cases, someone had it on the kitchen table, and you know how that goes.
Meant to,
I meant to, never got to it,
someone threw it out.
and threw it, yes, inadvertently.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I think we can. Why don't we make Waldoboro Day the deadline,
Yeah. Yeah,
and then
15.
Right.
and then if we get something.
But if
going-
we could do something on the vote day,
Yeah.
which would be good. You know,
Yeah.
because we're gonna certainly probably see a fair amount of people.
Sure. I mean, obviously, those people that are coming in have an interest in the
Right,
town's
Town.
town's manners. So yeah, some of them may have already done it, but you know, even if we just pick up another 50 to 100, that's
Yeah,
a pretty outstanding number
absolutely.
to represent, you know,
Absolutely.
possibly 20%. So,
Yep.
what I do, I guess, Marcus, is just check with the town clerk or
Yep.
whoever you need to,
Yeah, I will.
and then, you know, we'll kind of come up with a schedule of when they're open, and then maybe you can distribute it between us. And
I'm pretty sure the polls.
you know,
are
I don't
open.
expect you to have to be there all day,
Right.
but
Pretty sure the polls are open 8 to 8,
8 to 8,
I
yeah.
believe.
Right.
So I'm usually here 7 to 5.
Yep. So maybe we can come up with some sort of, you can come up with some sort of grid, or
Yep.
Yeah.
or poll people that, you know, if you have interest. Obviously, you don't have to, but
Right.
it would be great to staff it with, you know, and then if you're in and out or
Yeah.
fill in the empty spots would be great.
Mm-hmm.
So we set a deadline for Waldoboro Day. And what's that date again?
15th.
17th, I think. It's Saturday, isn't it?
This is- Saturday's the 1st,
Second.
13th.
so the 15th.
15th. Yeah. All right.
Trust me, I've been doing this a long
All
time.
right.
So that's why, so we agreed to agree on a date that was the same.
Yeah.
Waldoboro Day, June 15th will be
Depends
the
on
last
what
day.
calendar you're using.
Right. And Marcus, the other thing I could ask you and then you could say it's a lot easier for me to just do it, but you may want to just put together, if it's a share, maybe somebody could help you with some of these surveys, if it's an Excel spreadsheet
Yep.
that you could, you know, if there's somebody in the community that wants to do, has time, or,
Busy work.
I mean,
Yeah,
there
no.
may be some people,
Yeah.
I'm guessing, you know, obviously it's a lot of data entry, but
Yeah.
it's obviously.
It's not too bad. You get in a groove, but it's just, you know, I did a bunch yesterday, and it's like by the end of the day, your eyes are just seeing the same thing over and over again. But I mean, I'll get it done. It's just-
Right.
It took a lot longer than I expected. You know, I plug in Little League and soccer entries all the time in the hundreds. You know,
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know if I'm just better at that or
Right.
it's just different. There's a lot less typing and a lot more little stuff. Whereas I'm trying to, you know, with the comments and stuff, I pretty much write it out word for word. I'm not trying to summarize stuff. I don't want to change any meanings, so
Sure.
for the most part, I'm writing everything out the same way. But and then once I get it all in, I'll separate into different categories and synthesize the data a little bit. But we can give us something to look over.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to think maybe there's somebody out there or a college student or somebody that'd be interested in volunteering and to
Yep.
take that load off your, you know, you could do some other things. But. Anything else more that we'd like to talk about with the survey? I guess we set the date for June 15th, maybe by the middle of July, you'd have the results tallied, or even August. And then we can kind
Yeah.
of be able to bring something to them, hopefully maybe by September.
Yep.
I mean, because that's going to take probably a special meeting to just kind of analyze the data,
Right.
to kind of draw up some points.
Yep.
Um,
So it depends how many more we get in, but my goal was to get the rest of them done by our next rec committee meeting. Depends how many we get in for
Yeah, during that.
election and Waldoboro Day and stuff, but.
Right.
Yep. So I guess we'll move on to the next item, which is our movie night discussion. And that was something I kind of brought up, and I said I'd take the lead or try to find some information. So, what I did find wasn't the greatest of information as far as the company that we use out of Brunswick. They're located out of Portland. I talked to them. They're called Headlight Productions out of Portland. Basically, what he said from the distance, and with licensing fees, and probably 2 guys, and possibly even needing to get accommodations, because the movie would probably finish up around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Looking at $2,500 for a show. I then try to scan and say, well, maybe there's another company, maybe there's other people that do it. What I was able to find was I talked to Ellsworth Arts, that does a series of, I think it's 6 movies, like once every other week. And basically what they did is they ended up buying all their equipment. But they were looking at like anywhere from 12 to 15,000 that they invested in their productions.
Yep.
There's a company that licenses all the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the newer movies are more expensive. You let them know. It's a website called swank.com. So if you chose a movie and you said you're going to have 200 people there, they come up with a fee.
Right.
Basically their suggestions were to, these are the people from Ellsworth, was to, shoot low, especially on the first one, so you get a kind of a good idea. So obviously there's a little bit of, it was a little bit more expensive, I guess, than I had originally anticipated. But so obviously the alternative is you could pay the fee, for your licensing fee, and then you could have somebody that had a projector,
try to do
and
it
you could
yourself.
try to do it yourself. Or if
Projector
the
and a
school-
stereo system.
I was reading a little bit as well, kind of similar stuff. It sounds like, and that's why I asked you about the library.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like there's a different license for libraries.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that could be true.
Because I guess there's lots of libraries that do similar things, and their licensing. This is just one of the websites. It sounded like,
Yeah.
or I think it was the organization. I've never looked into it before, so it's kind of hard to say whether you're looking at something real or not, right? But they were a lot nicer to libraries, public libraries.
Yep.
And they had a license that was based for the library, an umbrella license, based on the area they served, the size of the population of the area they served. So that was one thing I thought was interesting. That's why I wanted to try to find Kat's email address to ask her.
To do a co-sponsored event.
There you go, right? And maybe, and the same thing, like I have a projector, I don't know how well it would work outside.
Yeah, it would take some testing probably before we
Yeah,
decide.
right, because then you got the projector and the audio, right?
Yeah.
It's Waldoboro, so I think doing something homemade, as long as it works, is fine, right? No one's expecting surround sound. But the other thing that I thought was interesting, it got posted a couple days ago, was Topsail Farm is doing a public outdoor movie, June 29th. And they're partnering with, they're doing 2 that they have set up so far. One is one's with the fire department, and I forget who the other one is with, but it's another Waldoboro group. So,
And
not to say that.
What was it, Cider Hill for?
No, Topsail. The one on 32 past you, between you and me.
Oh, okay.
Old Smith's farm.
Oh,
The one on
okay.
top of the hill.
Is that
Top
on
of the hill.
32?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The one, the glamping.
Yeah, I know where
Yeah.
it is now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I didn't know that.
yep, so, and just because they're doing something doesn't mean that
We can't.
we can't. They're doing the Goonies I think the Goonies the first night. And I found similar stuff that Troy found was, if you're looking for a new movie, new-ish, right, you're gonna pay.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking classic, it might be a more affordable option. And it's kind of, my feeling was, the old classics that everybody knows, I mean, you're not going there to watch a new movie, right? You're going there to do something fun with your family and watch a movie outside, which is something different,
Yeah.
right? And to have it be one of your classics that you love, everyone's seen already is just kind of gravy,
Yeah.
So, anywho.
So, I mean, I guess that leaves us with, where we'd like to move forward with it. Obviously, I think it would have to be something that we did in-house,
Yeah.
I think that makes it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, screens, I don't know what size, but screens are relatively inexpensive, not the inflatable jobbies. But I think a modest size, canvas hang up on somewhere screen.
Right.
For a home size one, it was like I want to say it was like a 10 by 12 or something. It was like there was a deal on Amazon for who knows the quality, $15, $16.
Right.
So you're talking, it'd be worth. I think it'd be worth looking into trying to pull it off. Still, even though even those, but
Yeah.
the license I think is the big kicker.
Yeah.
But if we could find out about.
Yeah, I can try to call the library and see if be anything they'd be interested in. If not, I'll.
If they even have a license, they may not.
Yeah.
They might not have a license.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I can check swank.com and see
Yeah.
Yeah.
what the prices are.
That, and also just maybe check with the fire department if you said they're.
Well, yeah, they might. Yeah,
I
they might
mean,
know. They might know.
We don't have to
what deal-
reinvent the wheel if
No.
they
Yeah.
may
Right.
they may have equipment that we could borrow. Or,
Well, yeah, I think it sounded like Topsail was producing it, and there were donations, like parking donations, was going to the other group.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Maybe talk to them. Maybe they got a. I don't know. They probably.
yeah, who knows?
I don't know what they got for a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, if that was something we were looking for, end of July or August, I guess at this point, because we're looking at June 1st here at the end of the week. So, do you want to touch base with Tops Hill or find out some more information? Do you mind?
I'll talk with Paul. It's probably Billy Maxwell. Is probably working with him.
Okay.
I'll find out what the deal is.
Okay. And then maybe we can just discuss further either via email or by this, and then you can touch base with the library or
Yep.
go from there. New business, plans for Waldoboro Day. So I guess I'd look for you, Marcus, to give us some update on, or some direction on that.
Yep. So this will be the third year in a row I've run a home run derby. It's free. I dig out some co-ed softballs and wood bats, and kids just come sign up. We have kids all the way through adults, and I set up a little makeshift fence at 80 Gray, and everyone takes some hacks. Usually stays pretty safe with not sending balls into the vendors and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of something I took on the first year wanting to do, and we had really good numbers the first year. Last year, not so much, but it still wasn't bad. We had a few. It's one of those things where you get 10 people to sign up, and then you start hitting softballs, and 20 more people walk over and want to hit. So
Yeah.
we have a good time. The first year I tried to do like a 3-on-3 tournament on the courts behind 80 Gray, and then people just ignored the cones and parked under the hoops. Anyways, we didn't really have anybody taking care of parking up there. And so I said I wasn't going to do it last year. Some other kid said he was going to try to do it, and they did the same thing to him. So I kind of gave up on that dream. But yeah, we got some. Last year we got a bunch of donations. I think from the Lions Club and somebody else that said they just wanted some stuff for Waldoboro Day that we could use for summer rec. So we actually put that money towards some lumber, and Caitlin Puchelski's husband made a couple of cornhole boards, and I bought some bean bags, and I bought like spike ball and canned jam, just like lawn game stuff. And so we put that out last year, and there were kids using it all day. Worked out pretty well.
Cool.
But then we had summer rec and had a bunch of first and third graders, and didn't get used much for summer rec. But
Yeah, that's fine.
we had a young group last year.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my plan. I don't know if there's anything else that
How many cornhole balls?
we have two sets,
2 sets.
so you can have 2 games going on at once.
Corn jam ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of crossed my mind to do
Yeah,
a
it'd be kind
cornhole.
of you could do like a tournament,
tournament,
of some sort.
yeah.
Yeah, like that's a pretty.
That's what.
That's getting
Cornhole
big.
tournaments are fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Getting big.
So you gotta. I mean, we gotta keep
I mean,
Waldoboro
even
Day
if-
family friendly cornholes.
No, but do it.
But-
well, I mean, you just say
yeah.
that there's no drinking allowed. I mean,
Right.
it's-
But yeah, no,
Not your
I've
typical
it
cornhole
crossed my
tournament.
mind. I didn't know what the turnout would be about needing more than two sets of boards. Unless it just went all the
Well, the truth is, if you put it out there, there's probably people that have their own boards that they would
Oh, yeah.
bring.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're
Yeah.
thinking of starting to do a cornhole tournament at
Yeah.
noontime or whenever,
Yeah.
whatever it works. You might have some people that would have their own.
Yep.
You know, if not, you'd have to just take your time and work
Yep.
through the two.
Yep.
I've never done one, but
No.
I know they're very popular.
Yeah.
That might be something.
Yep. Maybe try to do a impromptu one this year and see how it goes. And
Sure.
make it more organized.
I
next
mean, the
year.
power of social media, you can do pretty much anything last minute. You know, and you never know what's going to take, you know.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. But anything else Waldoboro Day related that we
No,
need
I
to
mean,
be
that's
aware of?
I mean, I help set up and do all that stuff. So pretty much all morning I'm helping set up. And then I usually take a couple hours at lunch and
Yeah.
hit up all the food vendors. And then at 2 o'clock we run out
We
and
might actually be able to go this year.
hit some softballs.
No, Little League.
Little League.
I don't have Little League.
Yep.
I'd love to, I'd love to help. I mean, that sounds like, you know, as long as we got a place to get out of the rain or the sun,
Yeah.
depending on what happens.
Oh yeah,
That's
last
a
year.
good way to spend the day.
Yeah, last year was sunny. It's in the, like I said, it's up at 80 gray
Yeah.
for
Remember-
now.
I kind of miss closing off Main Street, but it's nice having your own spot up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice area.
It's so much safer. That's really the key. To try to do things with kids downtown was
Yeah, I
a
remember
nightmare.
we used to do like a race, like kids races,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they'd stop in the tar and go
Right.
rip their knees apart. It wasn't
Yeah.
good, but
Yeah.
Well, I know that people like the street dance effect, but again, you know, we were very fortunate that, you know, people coming up from Friendship, you know, not hitting the stage or killing somebody.
right, yeah.
And,
it
you know-
definitely takes it lowers the risk of the of injury or something bad happening.
Yeah,
Is my opinion.
yeah,
I know some people don't like having to walk up the hill, but
right.
yeah, I think
I like
it's
using the property.
I think it's a small price. Yeah.
Well, if it's more of a family affair than, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of participation last year.
Yeah.
There were a lot of kids. A lot
Yeah,
of-
since I've been here, the couple I've been to have been well attended. I thought
Yeah.
more than I remember. I only went to a few Waldoboro days as a kid in the
Mhm.
street, but I remember being at a packed parade. But then everyone packs into the
Right,
downtown, and
right.
there were definitely more people at 80 Gray than I remember being down there. But
And then moving to the next item, summer activity suggestions. I guess you're leaving that to us, or are you looking for?
yeah, I mean, it was. I think I looked at I don't know if it was the minutes or what from last time. It popped up. Somebody wanted to talk about it. I'm open to any suggestions. Said summer. Summer's kind of my busy time. Spring and fall mostly, but summer's kind of busy. I don't know. I guess it's never too early to start planning, but November to January is the time I'd really like to add stuff. But yeah, for the summer, I mean, we have our summer camp, Waldoboro Day, get started on soccer stuff, but not much else. Take care of the fields.
Did you have an opportunity to reach out to, I think it was Benji and Rockland, about pickleball gear or pickleball items, or
I never did. I
Okay.
can.
that might be something. that I would be willing to help out with.
Yep.
And again, I think what's important, I think Marcus is not when saying summer activities that you plan, or I think more like that you would facilitate, kind of seeing if there's people out there that would be willing to do stuff for you.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
how
think,
most of the stuff runs.
yeah, and I think,
Jumpstart it. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I
put
think
it there
that's kind of the
Out of
key.
the,
Like,
I don't know how many programs I've started since I've been here, but probably 90% of them have been someone comes to me and I get it going and they run it, and that's I can't be at everything.
Is Miller Gym open during the summer?
For the most part, I mean, we use it from 9 to 1.
Right. So you guys are in there.
Yeah, we're in there 9 to 1 for 5 weeks, but it's mostly open. They shut it down pretty much right after our camp to clean They take all the stuff out of the kitchen and put it in the gym.
Oh, okay.
And clean the kitchen and do all that stuff. But for the most part, it's open. So there's definitely more room for some other stuff. In the past, I ran like a field hockey clinic in the summertime, but that was the same thing. I had a field hockey coach come to me wanting to do it,
Yeah.
and then she moved. She doesn't. She never lived in town, but she worked in town. Now she works in Camden. So she kind of left our community that way.
Yeah.
So I don't have a field hockey coach, so that program kind of died. That's kind of the ebb and flow of how things work.
Maybe Coach Troy could do a soccer clinic, leading up into it.
yeah, and then obviously you start taking registrations, or we start doing that in August probably.
Yep. Yeah, soccer usually starts.
Can I make a nomination for the girls 5-6 coach?
You nominating yourself?
No.
Yeah.
No, I am not.
Do we do much for the seniors during the summer?
We do the fall trip, which
Is
is
it the fall?
like I think it's like end of September. Last year it was like 85 degrees, so it's the fall senior trip. But yeah, that's another thing I need to start adding more of. It's just we just do the senior trip right now in the fall.
Mhm.
That's a budgeted item that got passed down to me from Kyle.
Right.
Right. I'd like to add some more stuff.
What?
What?
Yeah, what, yeah,
You know,
exactly.
everyone says bingo. There's bingo nights
Everywhere.
every night of the week somewhere.
Yeah.
So I talked to
to
Ben Vale over in St. George. He said he does like a potluck once a month.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Um,
right. And they get speakers to come in, and
Yep.
that's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
well.
something like that.
It's pretty well received. They've
Yeah.
been doing that for 15 years. So.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to find out.
Because the library does, they get quite a few speakers in,
Yep.
but it could be something different. They don't do the potluck part.
Yeah. So we have our senior citizen group in town, the Madoming Valley Senior Citizens, and they have 2 meetings a month, and they pretty much do a potluck at every one of those meetings. So I'd try to work.
And they
around
usually
that.
have someone come in and do entertainment now.
Yeah,
I
they've,
think about it.
someone comes in, sings, or they, one time I went, they all brought stuff and had a swap meet, and we were, like selling stuff.
That's awesome.
It's pretty funny,
Yeah.
pretty funny. And all the proceeds goes to their
They're fun.
their group fund.
What about trying to do maybe like a couple summer concerts, or maybe like an open mic down at 80 Gray?
Yeah.
I know a lot of times people like to do that in a bar because then you have a little encouragement, but, I mean, there's
Liquid courage.
liquid courage.
Yeah.
But, just something a little different to try to utilize that space. And we have the stage there, and, we have the tent, the canopy, I should say.
Yep.
And there are a lot of different musicians around that would like to try to
Right.
have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And they usually bring 3 or 4 friends or their family. I don't know, just, we're gonna try that for Waldoboro Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
As a little different
As
twist.
like an open mic, or open,
Yeah, an open mic
stage.
prior
yeah.
to one of the bands that,
Right.
and then the fireworks.
Last year
Yeah.
they did the talent show. This year they're turning it more into an open mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trying to get a
Oh,
little-
cool.
yeah, so, trying to mix it up.
Yeah, I think we can.
And a dance on Friday night.
Friday
Yeah.
night, Backlash.
Yeah.
Tosh's mom's all excited.
They should be,
Favorite band up to Crystal Falls.
they're good.
There you go. There you go.
I've never heard them, but, talking with them,
Yeah.
they sound like they do a good job. So we'll see.
Well, if Tasha likes them, they gotta be good.
No. Tosh's mom's favorite band.
Oh, Tasha.
Oh.
Oh, Tasha's mom's favorite.
Oh.
I missed that.
$5 a piece, I mean, God, that's pretty cheap.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm always looking to add more stuff. It's just finding ways
And maybe
to do it.
doing a cornhole tournament.
Yep. They're doing one when they have the Nathan Robertson Memorial Tournament in Thomaston. Well,
Yeah.
they usually do a co-ed softball tournament. I think
Yeah.
they're doing that again. But I saw a flyer, they're doing a cornhole tournament as well. And it's open to like 48 teams and I can't $40 a team to get in. I have no idea how
They
much.
having a beer tent?
Yeah, I think it's all open for that stuff. I'm not sure what it's all about.
Get Body Alewives to host it.
Yeah, it seems like a big deal. I don't know. I get one of the guys I play softball with in the summer helps run that stuff, so I'll
Mhm.
talk to him and see what kind of turnout they get. But it could definitely be something we look to kind of piggyback off. Maybe if theirs goes well, we can
Yeah.
try to run one.
Make a circuit.
Yeah,
Oh, they had a
Mid
huge,
Coast League.
I'm trying to think where it was. I think it was going by like Ames Hardware.
Yeah.
It was on a weekend, and I looked over, there must have been 300 people.
In Wiscasset? Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Wow.
I mean, they had a big cornhole tournament.
Huh.
I was like, oh my God, it's huge.
Must have been all people from the north because you couldn't get past Rex.
Well, that's
Well,
true.
Or south.
Yeah.
we got all this camping
South.
gear in the back. Might as well
South.
unload.
I'm not going to that one.
Yeah, I agree.
Is the open mic like concert type something you would be interested in working with Marcus a bit? Or I'm not putting you on, I'm not trying to put you on the
Well,
spot, but I am.
one of the
guess,
guys
but-
that I'm working with Waldoboro Day, Ryan Moody, does open mics at a couple different places.
Yeah.
And last year he worked with me on the talent show, and then we had some entertainment prior to the fireworks and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I think that he might be interested as well.
Okay.
I think it might, I guess the other thing is, how long are we gonna have electricity there?
I don't know. How long are we gonna own the property?
Well, that's another thing. But we could do electricity maybe some other way too,
Yeah.
with CMP. But I think, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least give it a shot.
Yeah.
Try, try things.
Yep.
And if you fail, all right, so at least you give it a try.
Yep.
What do you think, Ray? You coming down? Come down and do some blues?
No, no blues.
No blues? Not Christian music.
No, I'll tell some stories. How about that?
Tell a story,
I'll
yeah.
tell some stories.
That's right. No, they're gonna be clean.
Yeah, I was going through the stories in my head.
I'm out.
None of my stories.
I'm out.
I'm out. That's awesome.
Damn,
Oh.
a midget, a goat, and a one-legged stripper.
Well, we could have an 8 o'clock ones. Once it start at 8.
Yeah.
It'd be like a 15-minute intermission with a little warning.
Bedtime.
But cornhole, open mic, and maybe even just some local bands. Kids. There's a couple. There's a band like from over at Lincoln Academy that these kids are really good. I'm sure that Peter has somebody up at
Yeah.
Adomic. There's some kids from over in Camden I've heard that are they really do. Or what's the Mid-Coast Maine Academy, Music Academy? And it gives kids opportunity, or people opportunity to play.
Yeah.
And they'll do it for nothing, or next to nothing,
Sure.
So I don't know, just
Yeah.
other things that,
No, the key is being able to piece it all together so you could market it. So,
right.
somebody's not open mic to 5 people. I mean, that's
Well, like you say,
obviously if you knew you got like 50 to 100 people, then it would build like from there. Or you
Well,
do,
be curious to see how this thing shakes out for Waldoboro Day. If we get that,
Yeah.
That's a
we'll
good-
limit to like 12 people.
Yeah.
But if we see we have an onslaught, then hey, that's telling us
Overflow for another event.
another. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right. I mean, I'd be willing to help you with it, or I could help run the cornhole tournament
Yeah.
if you wanted to do it on Waldoboro Day.
Yeah.
I mean, I could. That's up to you. But
Yeah. No, I mean we only
Maybe
have
we get
two.
referee shirts to help.
Yeah, I'm sure I can come up with
I
something.
mean, maybe we do it like maybe later in the afternoon,
Yep.
like a 4 o'clock or
Yeah.
4 or 5 o'clock that leads into the fire.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
The-
I haven't seen the schedule.
Yeah, it's,
So,
there tends
I
to
mean,
be
ideally you'd
a
want-
lot 4 o'clock a lull.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of events scheduled for 2. They usually run an hour or 2, and then 4 o'clock. It's usually when I leave. I'm willing. I'll stay whenever, but from what I hear from like people that are there all day, there tends to be a lot of people that leave. They go home, do something, and then
Come back
like
for the-
6 o'clock or 7 or whatever, they come back for the music and the fireworks.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe the cornhole will keep people there, or maybe we won't get
Get enough people.
enough people to do it where it's
Yeah.
that late.
well,
But
I think the entertainment, we're gonna try to do like 4:30 sign up for the open mic.
yep. And then 5.
Figure 5 to 6:30ish,
Yep.
depending on the number of people. They could do 1 or 2 songs.
Yep.
And then 7:30 would be the other band. Now, the library, though, is doing a clam festival of some sort down at the VFW, and I think that's at like at 4 to 6.
Ooh.
They're doing, they haven't, I think they
Clam
have,
bake?
and
It's
again,
like
I
they
think
have restaurants coming in,
right,
and the different restaurants are gonna
Do different dishes.
different
Do different
clam
dishes.
dishes,
Right,
and
yeah.
the people get to eat and vote.
I like that.
yeah, I haven't heard all the final
Yeah.
details.
Yeah, that's
but
what I'd heard about it.
That's what,
That's-
yeah,
that's
you are, you're at
that's
the same meeting,
Right, that's the gist.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the afternoon, yeah. It could go one of 2 ways, but I think 4 o'clock is probably our best option. When people get, like, the parade ends at 10:30 or whatever, you know, people are, it's really busy, people are, you wouldn't be able to organize anything until
Right.
at least 1 o'clock, and then that's
Yeah.
right when the home run derby
I
starts.
don't know how long a typical tournament would last.
I don't know. Depends how many people you
Because
get.
I'm thinking
How
if
many
you had.
people, how many boards?
Right.
Right.
I mean, I built my dad a set of boards. I have the material to make another set.
It's never up to 4.
If I have time.
4 cents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we.
Potentially.
I
Yeah,
mean, maybe
maybe
we.
some more
Even,
beanbags.
maybe if we even put it out there just to get like a survey, like, would you be interested in, or, you know,
Yeah.
I've never participated in one.
No.
We had obviously had one at the conference we were at. There was quite a few people at the MRPA.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, maybe you didn't see that, but.
Yeah, it was in one of the other rooms.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but
But yeah.
they definitely have a lot of numbers.
Yep.
Because I'm thinking like, you know, maybe 5 o'clock leading up to the fireworks.
Yeah.
You know, that way people.
A little cooler.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't,
Cornhole tournament.
Oh.
4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and do it in that same complex, do it out in the field.
well, we've tried so many different things over the years, and if you have a hot day, and especially with the kind of spring that we've had,
Yeah.
people come to the parade, they'll come up and do the vendors for an hour or so, 2 hours, whew, they're gone.
Right. That's
And you know, you've had people do entertainment, and there's
Yeah.
5 people there.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and
So,
it just, so by pushing it back, it'll probably draw better,
Yep.
yeah.
would be my
That'd be fine. There's
thought.
I don't know about the fireworks. They require us to get off the ball field at a certain time. I have
Okay.
to figure that out about where they'd let us be.
Yeah.
Well, you could
But
do
there
it
may
right
be
by
another farther section up where we do like some of the kids stuff.
Kids' activities.
further activity.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, there
Yeah.
may be
I'm sure there's
You know,
definite space
to put out 6 boards or
Well, what
6
about
sets or something like
even
that.
right field,
Well, that's what they usually.
because they're usually back in center.
Yeah, they're
A
in
little
center. But they usually take the.
Yeah, they take the whole.
They take. They go
whole
from
soccer
that.
field basically.
Yeah, the whole field pretty much. They run string from that end of that fence to
Yeah.
Sure.
wherever. But
Well, even for an hour, too.
yeah, I'm sure they'd let us do something.
Oh, like you say though, there is some space up there.
There's space. You could do it on the tennis court if you had to.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
yeah, you could.
I mean, nobody's parking there.
Nope.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
I'd be interested in that. I'll work with you on that.
Yeah.
And then items for upcoming agendas.
Wear sunscreen.
I mean, so
Bug spray.
we're looking at June. Yeah, come on, password. Maybe I forgot it. There we go. June 26th would be our next meeting. And then obviously it would be, one of the items would be survey discussion, or see where you're at with that process.
Yeah.
Waldoboro Day recap.
Yeah, and then I think you'd probably, and then you'd have an update on your summer camp or summer programs, or any of these other things take.
Yeah, summer camp wouldn't have started yet, but it'd be like 2 weeks away, so should have most everything in
Yeah,
line.
You said the 26th, correct?
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a meeting on the 19th. And then we could have an update, or maybe we do that beforehand, but we could update on movie night or what we find out from your research. And then kind of recap Waldoboro Day events, any additions, subtractions, what went well, what didn't go well.
Yep.
And then maybe look forward to fall, summer, fall programming or fall stuff that you gotta need to get to
Yep.
the schools. And then we may have an update, depending on what's going on with the 80 Gray building at that point too. But
Yep.
I don't know if that's definitely
I-
an agenda item, but.
Yep.
I also think that if we do the cornhole, and then if we get to do some of this, we ought to make sure that we advertise the fact that it's being sponsored by
Waldoboro Rec.
the Waldoboro Recreation Committee,
Yep.
so that people understand that there are things that are being at least attempted to, satisfy some of these different,
No, I don't disagree.
because I think a lot of times people, they really don't know. Well,
Right.
you've made on a survey, we're trying to at least accommodate a few things. I think if we could get pickleball, what's the name, would be doing cartwheels in here.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was asking the Jim. I mean, summer's not a great time. The Warren volleyball, we stop when school lets out because they redo the floor.
Yeah,
Or that's what we've been told. Which I know they do redo the floor, but
Right.
I don't think it takes them all summer.
No.
Not that we all kind of take a break anyways because it's summer.
Right.
But if that space that's available,
Right. That's what.
the heat tends to be the deciding factor there. But
Yeah. With pickleball, it was something I was hoping to fill that winter void I had with. It's just there's so much. Yeah. Exactly. And so I think I need to set up a meeting with whoever, the church, the Baptist church, see if they have any openings in their gym, especially like during the day.
Mhm.
Like I feel like if I did like a 10 a.m. pickleball thing for seniors,
that might be an option.
people would show up. But I can't obviously do anything at 10 a.m. at a school, and I can't really do anything in the evenings at a school either because
Right.
there's so much there's limited space. It's booked. That's I get a lot in the surveys. Some of the ones that have been negative have been, the schools already offer this. The schools already have gyms. Use those. It's like, oh, well, we are.
Yeah.
They're booked.
But you were talking about trying to do it during the day. Maybe school gets out at 3:15.
Yep.
Practices don't start usually till 5. There might be
Yeah.
a
Like
potential
3:30. 3:30 to 4:30.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's possibilities. I think the church would be a good start.
Yeah.
But
And even if they charged $1 a player or whatever, that could go to the church.
Right.
I have no idea. I mean,
Yeah, I don't
obviously
know.
you're not looking to make money. You're just trying to have an offering.
Right.
But obviously they have costs and
Yeah.
things that they have to handle too. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I think Karen would be more willing to help. I would be willing to help.
Right.
To get some people to learn it.
Yeah. I had a guy call the other. Actually, not a citizen, but he is big into pickleball. Was asking about the courts behind 80 Gray, if they. I said they're not usable right now. I said
Yeah.
if they ever get rehabbed, we'll probably put some lines
Right.
on them. I said, the only other courts in town are at the high school. He said, would they be willing to put lines on those? I said, I don't think so, because they play competitive tennis.
Who was it?
I don't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
Dickey. Al Dickey? I don't know. He had somebody from Waldoboro with him. I can't remember her name. But I can't remember where he said he was from, but he's like big into pickleball, and he's like, there's a lot of people in your area that are interested in it.
Yeah, especially summer people probably too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the fastest growing sport in the country.
Right.
Last year it grew 600%. So there's definitely a market for it. It's pretty low key.
Yep.
And it's very social, and it's really good, for the demographic that it serves most. But anybody can play any age, but
Right.
for the most part, it's really good for the main demographic is probably 50s plus.
Yep.
It's a great opportunity for some of them that are either homebound or don't talk to a lot of people. There's a lot of social interaction with it.
So it really needs to be on a court.
Correct. Ideally, it needs to be on a court. Yeah.
I just watched a tournament,
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
pickleball tournament.
Yeah,
down in
CBS.
Florida.
Well,
Yeah.
CBS actually picked it up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It's pretty
nice.
pretty intense.
It
Isn't it?
is. It just,
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
It's like Batman, right?
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
that escalated quickly.
Bam, bam, bam.
Pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Ping pong, right? Like, wham! Then they start hammering
Yeah,
each other.
they're just waiting for one person to make
Right,
a change of
Well,
direction.
the ball can't bounce. Or can it bounce?
Oh, it can bounce, but
bounce
it's-
once.
Yeah.
Those guys weren't letting it bounce.
Really? Yeah, at the advanced level, it's pretty much a net game. It's back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yep.
But yep, and then there's restricted areas that they can go in and can't go into unless it bounces. So. But I think it was a good opportunity, and it might be an opportunity for the church to get people in. And then obviously, as a rec, we're not promoting religion, but
Right.
obviously from their side they'd be bringing people into the church.
Right.
Go from there, but.
Well, the other night I was talking with Sandy O'Farrell, and we've talked about this, I think, in the past, is that, maybe we should approach the VFW, the American Legion, the Baptist Church. Who else has a fairly good-sized building? Maybe we can negotiate something until the day we ever get a rec center or whatever, that, would they be willing to donate a day, either a day a week or every 2 weeks, that could be utilized for whatever activity,
Yep.
as an interim, in order to facilitate some additional programming. I don't know, but I mean, and obviously that the pickleball one is certainly paramount with a lot of people,
Yep.
or at least it seems that way.
Right.
I don't know.
The gym, if you got a program going, as much as I've dealt with gym availability in the past, to have the folks that would likely be playing pickleball crossing over with the crowd that plays youth basketball wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing.
Yeah.
They can share, you know what I mean? Like I'm not sure how
Sure.
that building use gets figured sometimes, but, cause it's a Madomic program versus
The Miller Gym.
and
It's pretty much first come, first serve.
generally, right? And I'm not
Little-
saying be a jerk about it and
Yeah. I mean,
grab a,
Last year I had men's basketball or adult basketball they wanted to do, and I booked it one Wednesday night slot,
yeah, right, yeah.
and I went in before basketball,
Right.
booked it through March, and we used it through Christmas, and then I gave it up
Right.
because we weren't using it anymore, and basketball went back in there. But it's pretty much first come, first serve. Little League has basically asked me next year when school opens to book every gym slot from March, because this year there were still basketball slots in there.
Well, that's a different issue.
I mean,
Right.
I also think when
So they wanted me to go in and book them so that when they're in so that they don't have to share. But I had 10.
They need to share.
There's 10. Basically, there's 10 practice slots a night,
Right.
or a week.
A week.
5 to 6:30, 6:30 to 8, or whatever, or however you want to divide it. There's room for 2 practices. I had 5 majors baseball, softball teams this year. That's 2 practices a week. But then when you have 3 of them taken up by basketball, that's 7. So then some people get 2, some people get 1. And then you add the next week, the minors get started and they want gym time. So I literally didn't have enough gym times to even give everybody 1. And it was challenging. And they sit there and say, why can't we have it? I said, well, there's a basketball slot here, here, and here. And they're like, it's April. Why is basketball still in there? I don't know, because they booked the gym first.
But again, I think we've had this conversation not necessarily on air, or is it maybe worth talking to the school, Miller School, and saying, hey, you know, obviously my job in the town is to try to facilitate recreation, and we don't have a facility, we also have a gym. Would it be something that, you know, you give me your dates for your school events, and every other
And let
booking
me-
comes through you?
Mm.
I know that's more on your task, but the reality
I
that
would be
You're
willing.
involved in most of it.
I don't-
I would
and
be
I-
willing to do it. I don't.
I know Linda
don't think
Polai
I-
is the one that does it. She does
Yeah.
it on a Google spreadsheet.
Yep.
She shares it with me, but
Yep.
that takes them out of the, you know, what's fair, what's not fair, and your job as a title of coordinating and facilitating recreation at a fair level. But
Right.
you know, again, I don't know if that's
I mean-
something that's a possibility, but
Yeah.
that's my quick take. I mean, it is a school's facility.
Right. I would enjoy. I think I would enjoy that. Having that freedom, but I don't know that they would allow it. I can ask.
Uh-huh.
I go over there to get a key, and they tell me to make sure I bring it back.
Well, yeah, but you know, I don't know. Maybe that'd be worth conversation, and I'd be willing to sit in with you if that was something too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we pretty much book it
Right.
where I work,
Mhm.
and that takes that middleman factor out of first one first come isn't always the
Right.
most
Right.
the
Yeah.
best thing
I mean,
for
I run into it-
the best thing for the community. Like, you know, it's you're being hired to facilitate and coordinate
Right.
what's best. Like,
Who's in?
you know, just like
season.
the athletic director is not going to allow basketball to take the gym time away from spring sports because they already had vice versa. Like,
Right.
you kind of, you know, there's some reasonings to your logic. But
Yeah. Yeah. No. that's-
again, I can't
run
speak.
into-
I can't speak for them, but I think it would be one task that would take off their plate,
And-
and it would get like, and no, if you know, there's sometimes I go past Miller School and it's not being used at all.
Right.
Like, and I did that with the travel basketball. I took over that for, like, I had the dates and times, but that way I knew if somebody canceled, I could put it out there and say, this is open. You want to schedule a game. This is, you know, instead of some coach just deciding, well, I'm canceling. Well, somebody else could have switched,
Right.
you know, and taken that earlier time so the third and fourth graders weren't going at 6 to 8. They could have gone from 4 to 6 or whatever, just for
Yeah,
example. So,
Definitely.
and I think that's kind of key. It's a lot easier to coordinate with maybe somebody like you than somebody that's at the school and done at
Right.
3:30 or 3:15.
Yeah.
But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. I ran into the same thing in the fall. We have Bagley Field, and I have 3 fall baseball teams that use it, and then we also use it for third, fourth soccer. And so baseballs, they start the year and they get 2 practices a week because they start in early August,
Right.
and then it's like, guys, soccer's coming. You're gonna get bumped back down to 1 at best,
Right.
and they've been good about it. They always ask for more. It's like, sorry, it's not really your season.
And they
Like,
keep stealing the benches.
yeah, they do that.
Yeah,
Have
you
them
know,
put it
or
back.
just coming up with a policy of facility use, you know,
Yeah.
type of stuff. And granted, that's not your facility, but, you know, I think that's how we have it. You know, like, school event is a school, so if they have a concert, or if there's a, you know, a special board meeting or something like that, like, it takes priority.
Sure.
Right.
And then second priority goes to the rec department, and then whatever's left could go to a third group. But
Yeah.
again, that's
Kind of
just-
like that as a role of the rec department.
and it takes them out of being necessarily the bad guy if you're saying, well, you know, you're not in season, or
Right.
you can't have 3 practices just because you were the first one there on September 1st
Right.
Like
to
there's
fill out your request.
There's no bad guy right now, it's just short.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not being the bad guy. It's just trying to be fair, or
Right.
or really maximizing the use of that gym. Because
Right.
I think, and sometimes on a Saturday and Sunday, or even late Friday nights, like there's nothing going on. If there's
Right.
if there's a dad or somebody like or a
Or
group that
nearby
want
that
a group
wants
that
to
wants to
clinic.
open up the gym or something, like,
Yeah, no, definitely.
it would make it easier for me too, I guess.
Yes. Ditto.
All right.
But
Yeah.
definitely.
So I think that gives you some items. I think some things will probably pop up between now and then kind of go from there.
Sounds good.
Anybody else? Anything? All right. Will that take a motion to adjourn? Second. All in favor?
I,
All right. Well, that we're adjourned. We'll meet June 26th.
Thank you. So real quick, yes, Troy for head coach. I'll help him.
Co-coaches.
Co-coaches.
No, assistant. The 80 grade property when they're considered selling.
that's what.
Hang on.
Yeah,
let's
sorry.
shoot that line, all right.
Yeah, Troy's like,